So, Bayonetta is an interesting series. It all started when Hideki, the guy who directed Resident Evil 2 and created Devil May Cry, left Capcom. He did some games for Capcom with a team called Clover Studios, like Beautiful Joe or Okami, but eventually tension rose. Eventually, Clover Studios would more or less leave Capcom entirely to find Platinum Games, which is where we are for this video. Bayonetta was made by this studio. Actually, Bayonetta, if you really want to break it down, is a female version of Devil May Cry. Bayonetta is a witch associated with demons. Dante's a half-demon. Bayonetta fights angelic monsters. Dante fights, well, other demons. Alright, there are some differences for sure, but overall, Bayonetta is a lot like Devil May Cry. Bayonetta is also jointly owned by Sega and Nintendo. Yeah, isn't that something? Bayonetta was originally published by Sega. It was released on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but Bayonetta 2 and 3 are exclusive to the Switch, because Nintendo saved the series with money. It was controversial, but no one else wanted to publish the game, and Sega kind of washed their hands of it, despite technically partially owning the IP. The third game had some voice actor drama as well. The original voice of Bayonetta was replaced due to money issues. Originally, people immediately were mad at Platinum Studios really quickly, and Hideki not really explaining details didn't help. He gave a comment, and it was just kind of a really dumb comment. Given he was probably somewhat muted due to some paperwork, but maybe saying nothing at all would have been better? I'm not sure. Eventually, it was leaked that the actress for Bayonetta asked for an insane amount of money to do Bayonetta 3, which was... yeah, she confirmed that herself, actually. Oops. So yeah, the entire Bayonetta series has been controversial, but overall the games are mostly beloved. So let's dive in as I take another look at Bayonetta 1. Let's slay some angels and lumen sages. Let's take on Jubileus the Creator. Time for a rematch. So Bayonetta's story starts out with amnesia. Bayo doesn't really remember who she is outside of being a witch and needing to kill angels to stay alive. She's trying to investigate the amulet she seems to have, hoping the answers would bring out her past more. The good news is that her informant, Enzo, has some information for her. He finds out her amulet is called the Left Eye of the World and that it's a two-piece set. The second piece was recently sold and transported to the city in Europe. This city sits near portals to Paradiso, the world of the angels. This means there are angels all over the place, which is an issue for Bayonetta. Still, she travels there and finds some side characters. Luca's a reporter that is investigating her. He was there when she was originally found. See, somehow Bayonetta was actually sealed underneath a lake somewhere in a coffin, and that's probably why she has amnesia. She's been there for about 500 years. Luca's father died when this all happened, when she was found anyway, and Luca blamed Bayonetta for it, learning through the game that Bayo obviously didn't kill Luca's father. Then there is Cereza. I'm going to pronounce that name wrong like 50 different times. She's a little girl who shows up early, and despite not really liking the idea, Bayonetta ends up protecting her. Eventually, Luca ends up taking care of her, and come to find out she has a toy named Cheshire. It's a cat toy. But that's remarkably similar to a nickname Luca has from Bayonetta. Curious. Then there is Jean, another Umbra witch and former rival to Bayonetta. They used to be friends, though, back in the day. So, Jean is actually slightly possessed into working with the angels, but after their last fight, this possession is resolved. Cereza is also just a young Bayonetta, if it wasn't obvious. She was brought out of the past to help Bayonetta remember her powers. Yeah, so Bayonetta, without her memories, isn't fully awakened, but with her memories, her powers come back, and yes! Time travel's a thing in this universe, people. See, the amulet isn't actually the Eye of the World. Bayonetta is when she's at full power. The right eye isn't a stone. It's Father Balder, the last Lumen Sage. Lumen Sages are basically the light side of the Umbra Witches, and they kill demons and have more angelic powers. Balder is also Bayonetta's biological father. Yeah, her biological father set all of this up just to awaken Jubileus, the creator god, the ruler of Paradiso. See, him having a kid with an Umbra witch was a bit taboo, but overall the reason was because a witch and a Lumen Sage DNA mixed together creates something that's very super powerful and kind of dangerous. Anyway, Baldur fuses with the young Cereza, and fights Bayonetta being defeated. Bayonetta saves her herself from her father. However, this was all a part of the plan as Baldur captures Bayonetta in this large statue to make her the Eye of the Creator. Jean, now friendly, motorcycles up a rocket ship into space to save Bayonetta as Baldur dies as a sacrifice. As the Creator isn't at full power, Bayonetta defeats her and summons her dark, demonic counterpart and throws the Creator Jubileus into the sun. The two witches destroy the statue from hitting Earth and manage to survive somehow. There's some weird romantic tension with Luca and Bayonetta, and the day is saved. Actually, Luca being a journalist does help Bayonetta in the end, but Luca is also super attracted to Bayonetta, which is used for more humorous moments. Either way, there's a blatant attraction between the two here, and yeah, the game kind of does end on. Interesting. Overall, the writing is kind of insane, but I kind of like the story personally. That isn't the reason I like Bayonetta games though, but the story kind of fits here. It's weird, simple, takes a couple of tropes, but also kind of flips them on their head. It fits the theming and the crazy nature of Bayonetta herself. By crazy, I'm talking things like riding a motorcycle while blasting angelic creature cars and a missile into the main city while, again, blasting angels. I didn't put it on the script here, but you're riding the missile is what I was trying to say here. The game is absurd, and I absolutely love it. Sure, you see the opening city, a set piece that you happen across multiple times, but one is normal, one is kind of lava and fire-ridden, and one is in Paradiso. There is enough of a change each time to make it interesting to look at and explore. Actually, for the entire game taking place in one city, they managed to keep things very interesting. There are many ruins, futuristic buildings, collapsing bridges, areas in Paradiso, and plenty more to explore, and I absolutely love it. The character designs are good. Rodan, who's the basic shopkeeper, looks like a human, but is also very strong. Enzo and Luca are humans, and they look perfectly fine. Luca's look was actually stolen by a villain in Final Fantasy later on. Bayonetta and Jean look fantastic. While not my favorite designs of these two, I love their looks in the second game more. I still absolutely adore their designs here. Cereza is adorable, and the angels are both creepy but very majestic looking. They're unsettling but glorious all at the same time. They're good monsters and leaning a bit towards more biblically accurate, which works well as enemies in video games. The boss encounters are cool too. These angels are a bit more unsettling even compared to their, lower brethren, and I love it. The bosses are all uniquely designed too, and smaller versions show up later on. The demons Bayonetta summons are all very unique as well, excluding one big-ass spider towards the end of the game, which is literally a dead ringer for Phantom from Devil May Cry 1 and 2. Actually, each demon summoning to kill a boss is very nice spectacle. It has a lot of visual flair, and I absolutely adore watching Bayonetta dance, I can't show that, and summoning these demons. Yeah, she wears her hair, which is the key to her magic and summoning, so when she summons, she gets a bit undressed. Nothing too bad, but for a few of these, yeah, they get pretty risque. Now for the music. I love the soundtrack to Bayonetta 1. Let's Dance Boys and his amazing track. I love how catchy it is. And Fly Me to the Moon, the game's vocal track, is fantastic too. It plays during the credit scene and ugh. But the rest of the OST does well to try and hype up boss fights and also bring atmosphere when not fighting. So yeah, the OST, fantastic as well. Overall, the gameplay is actually very simple to figure out. You have guns, heavy and light attacks. Heavy attacks are done with Bayonetta's legs and arms for her light attacks. The cool thing is you can put different weapons on both arms and legs. Things like this katana here can't be used on her legs, but the claws can. You mostly have guns on her legs, but this is really cool setup allowing you to mix and match. My favorite combination was the fire claws and katana, but she does have other weapons too. The whip was a good long-range attack, and claws are powerful on either arms or legs. Her guns are decent too, with pistols or shotgun-like weapons. You can also dodge any attack, but there's a risk-reward system in which if you dodge at the last possible moment, you enter Witch Time. Witch Time slows down time temporarily, allowing strong combo attacks on any angel that happens to be nearby, or allowing you to walk on water. You can also make potions. Potions are made using ingredients you collect around breakable objects around the worlds, which is cool. You make a health restore, a shield, or a power boost potion in the form of lollipops. You can buy some magic restores as well. Magic is used to do torture attacks, which does massive amounts of damage, often killing weaker angels, which is nice. Be careful though who you target. All in all, the battle mechanics aren't super complex, they're still fun and easy to understand, but harder to master, which works really well for this type of game. Level design, just when we were having so much fun, this is where Bayonetta has the biggest issues. Most of the levels are fine, but there are some actual issues. First off, enemy types can be really annoying to deal with. Some of the enemies have a tendency to fake their attack animations to make dodging very difficult. This is especially annoying since this will damage and not only that, take your magic away too. Which, yeah, when you're dealing with really fast enemies, this can be even more annoying. See, if an enemy you have is, giving you some difficulty, you know what I mean? You will almost always lack both witch time and magic to do torture attacks. This means that if you have an enemy type you don't like dealing with, you will always be at a disadvantage unless you have magic going into the fight already. If that's the case, you want to use your magic right the hell away to do massive damage first. This is the best strategy, but as stated, some of these enemies are just fast as all hell too. Then there's the QTEs, or Quick Time Events, which are just awful. You have to be able to basically predict the future or die and try again. That's the only way forward. These flash the button prompts for less than a second before you just die. Luckily, this really doesn't mean anything outside of rank and score. Sometimes I'm getting gold rank pretty effortlessly, and other times I'm getting stone, the lowest rank possible. And part of that is just because the cutscene ends up killing me out of nowhere. It isn't even all the cutscenes, and even when I'm ready for it, I'm often not fast enough to click the buttons without knowing exactly what to press beforehand. I've heard this issue isn't as bad on the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, the original release consoles, but on the Wii U and Switch, it's a huge issue. Probably because the frame rates kind of went up a little bit. Again, dying is somewhat meaningless, but higher ranks do have perks like more halos. Halos are money, and money helps buy things in the shop, which I like. Overall, on level design, the levels themselves are fine outside of some awkward platforming moments and some vehicle sections that come out of nowhere, but overall, not terrible. It's just so annoying when some of the enemy types in QTEs, or Quick Time Events, stop normal levels from being fun. But the boss fights also have both issues. Yeah! I still like the boss fights, but some of them are annoying the first time around as well. Even the final boss has some very bad issues here and there. I died on the last boss fight, several times just for stupid reasons. I tried fighting her arms during the climax event, which I guess I wasn't supposed to do, and it kept me from finishing the fight because I was already low on health to begin with anyway. And then the scene of Jubileus blasting to the sun, you have to control her and not hit the other planets, which have bigger hitboxes than you might think. Automatic death if you do hit one, which it looks like you are kind of supposed to, but I guess you're not. Things like this plague the game often enough to really be frustrating with the boss fights, which is an absolute shame because, yeah, they're really fun otherwise. So, when it comes to side content, Halos are the name of the game. There are plenty of reasons to collect Halos. You can buy more items, cosmetics, accessories. Look, a girl needs her accessories, and some of these are really powerful, making witch time easier and powering up Bayonetta in multiple ways. You can also buy witch hearts and pearls. You can find pieces of both in the levels too by exploration or challenges you can find. The hearts increase your health, my favorite, and the pearls increase your magic, allowing more torture attacks. If you increase your ranks and, make enough halos, you can also fight Rodan as a secret angelic boss fight, which is really cool. I have yet to collect that many halos, but it's an option there. You can also find LPs or angelic records in levels. LPs are basically records that, lore-wise, attract powerful demons for Rodan to kill. Like Devil May Cry, Rodan forms weapons, or devil arms, out of these demons. Not all the LPs are given without, finding them. Some of them you only find pieces when you actually just play the main game, and some are absolutely hidden within the levels. Bonus, some of the angels drop their weapons too, allowing you to use them. In one instance, I even found a large chainsaw sword, which is absolutely awesome. You can also unlock challenges by catching crows. That's cool. Beating normal mode gives you a dance movie at the end. That's neat. Once you beat the game, you can also view models in-game as well. Overall, there's a lot to do, and honestly, it's really fun to replay levels, even if you just need to do it in order to get enough halos to survive the next couple of levels. So let's finish this by talking about the game overall. The game itself is fantastic. The story is fine and interesting, the gameplay is simple to understand but fun, and the secrets and side quests are also really fun. Like many other Platinum games, the game is stylish as all hell with a great soundtrack. The level design hurts a bit though. They aren't bad, but there's enough problems to kind of knock it down a couple pegs. Without godlike reflexes, this game will kick your ass. Again, possibly only an issue on the newer releases thanks to increased frame rates, but still an issue nonetheless. Overall, this game can be rough if you're trying to get better ranks to get more money. But lives also don't matter in the end, so it isn't the end of the world either. Just a bit frustrating. I think it's enough of an issue though, as the next game in the series fixes a lot of these issues, which is good. I'm going to say this game is great, but it just borderlines on the verge of amazing. That would be an 8 out of 10, but damn close to a 9. I'll stick with my rating though, just shy of getting a 9, but yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. Still making Bayonetta a solid game for sure, even after all these years. I only bring it up because maybe I'm just bad at the game, right? Either way, I do recommend Bayonetta if you like action games, or especially if you like Devil May Cry. It's a fun and stylish game, and while earning a mature rating, it is a very creative game overall. That's all the time I have to look to Bayonetta though. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment my videos. All of this stuff really does help my channel grow. And I apologize if I sounded kind of plugged up. My allergies are horrible this season. So, yeah, sorry about that. Until next time, my minions, take care. Yeah, I can't even do my evil laugh right now. Jeez Louise.